Welcome in, everybody, to District Nation. I hope you're all having a great day going on whenever you may be watching this. You could be watching it before the series, or you could be watching it during the series, whenever you may be watching it. Thank you so much for tuning in today for a series preview between the Washington Nationals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Today, we're talking about this three-game series coming up, and there's a lot to unpack here. First off, we're going to talk about recapping the past series that was in Boston at Fenway. Then we'll talk about that all-star starter over there, C.J. Abrams, who has won himself all-star starter. And the final thing we'll talk about is Foster on a hot stretch. So much more will be talked about today. Those are my three topics I want to cover, plus a preview, as that's what this video is made for. But thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get started with a little recap of what happened this past week. That was June and July, as we're into the summer well in, and the Nationals went to Fenway Park. Game 1, the Nationals lose 6-3. Miles Mikolas takes the mound. Meatball Mikolas, who did take the mound. The thing was, people talked about it. It was not a great outing. We can all agree on that. Miles Mikolas' outing on Monday was not great. And it was just that first few innings. I mean, otherwise, he still went 7 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs, all 6 earned, 3 strikeouts, and 2 home runs. The thing is, they didn't score on him after the 3rd inning. After the bottom of the 3rd, they got a sac fly. They couldn't get anything going from there, which was honestly amazing. The fact that he started badly and he decided, you know what, I'm not going to make this a bad outing. I'm going to recover. And I love that he did that. Just look at the box score. They had a lot of hits in that first inning. They grabbed 5 hits just in that first inning, 3 in the second inning, 1 in the third, and they don't for the rest of the game. The Red Sox couldn't get anything going after that. That was great. And Zach Kent in that 8th inning, we needed just 1 inning out of work of him, and he did well in his 1 inning. I mean, he got a fly out, a strikeout, and a walk, but he ended up picking the runner off. We were set up for a bad game. We still gave up 6 runs in the first 3 innings of the game, but the Nationals put up 3 runs. James Wood, leadoff home run to start the series. What a better way to start a series than a James Wood tank, and I love that. The fact that James Wood just went yard, casually flicks a home run out of here at Fenway Park, which is a hard place to hit home runs, and he ends up hitting a tank, which was really great. Good job, James Wood. James Wood did absolutely amazing. Later in the game, it's the 6th inning. We're trailing. You get a hit from Jose Tena. He pinch hits because we're playing the matchup a little bit after they go to Colombi from the pen, after Ranger Suarez does really well over 6 innings. And then Curtis Mead with a base hit. So there's 2 runners on, and C.J. Abrams with a double down the line. Abrams drives in 2. It's a 6-3 game. The Nationals sadly can't get any more offense from there. But good job by Abrams just driving in the runs. He is an offensive machine right now. More importantly, not an offensive machine, but an RBI machine. He's been an RBI machine. He's scoring runs. He's getting hits. He's no longer a leadoff hitter. That's the thing. A lot of people have been talking about it, saying how Abrams was a leadoff hitter for the past few years. Last year, he hit leadoff. 2024, he hit leadoff. He was hitting leadoff home runs. Well, now C.J. Abrams has found a spot to stay, and that is in the cleanup spot. C.J. Abrams is a 4 hitter. And C.J. Abrams is going to start the All-Star game, but more on that in a little bit as we continue this video. But Abrams is a cleanup hitter, and he's really good in that spot. Game 2. It's Game 2 of the series. There's a lot of drama that happened. You can find other places for that, but here I'm just going to talk about the outing at face value. Cade Cavalli with a gem. 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 run. It wasn't even earned, and 13 strikeouts. 13 strikeouts. Career high by a few. I think his career high before that was 8 or 9. I don't even think he's been up to double digits yet. And he comes out and just does amazing. Gets a lot of swing and misses. They were not hitting him. And he has 13 strikeouts. Over a dozen strikeouts. And then the 8th and the 9th, Orlando Ribalta and Zach Kent put it away. More importantly, the Nationals' offense put it away. Let's go later in the game. We're trailing 1-0 into the 5th inning. And Lau gets a hit. Nunez moves him. Ruiz with a walk. And then James Wood caps it off with a single to drive in a run. So then it's tied, and we have a big 7th inning. We get 3 runs on the board, courtesy of some runs, some hits, everything you need. Biggest being Luis Garcia Jr. with a 2-run double. Louis with a 2-run double really helped out the team. Good job to Luis Garcia Jr. And then the 8th, they add on even more, and that comes from a C.J. Abrams bomb. So Abrams just continues to rake this series. C.J. Abrams had an awesome series. He did absolutely amazing. So C.J. Abrams does that, and he's raking this weekend. and we get a lot of runs. Some runs in there. Abrams with a home run. You get Lyle has a hit. Then Nunez with a fielder's choice gets on base. Ruiz with a double to drive in 2, and then Wood drives in 1. So we get more runs on the board. In the 9th, we can't get anything. But more importantly, the Red Sox can't get anything. So Tuesday, once again, they stay dry. This team, they just had a good series offensively, games 2 and 3. We'll talk about game 3 in a moment. But game 2, the colors started to show. The colors were there. This team looked good. They finally found their way. This was a game that put them back over 500. Game 3, it's a good outing from Cavalli. So you're thinking, okay, let's have Andrew Alvarez have a good outing. And he did. The thing is, he didn't get to start the game, which I really, really like. Andrew Alvarez isn't given the start on Wednesday for the matinee start. Instead, we give it to Brad Lord. And I was questioning it for a minute. I'll admit that. I was questioning it. I was asking myself, what's the logic behind this? What are we doing here? Brad Lord proved me wrong. 2 1/3, 2 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. More importantly, the scoreless. That 0 in that column is very important. That set up Andrew Alvarez to come in the 3rd. He starts to struggle. Brad Lord gives up a hit and a walk, then gets a fly out and gets it to 1 out. So there's 1 out. And Butera makes the call. Goes to awesome Andrew Alvarez to face Wilyer Abreu, a lefty. Fellow lefty-lefty matchup. I really liked it. And Andrew Alvarez got a ground ball to the first baseman that was overturned to a double play. 3-6-3 double play. Yes, that's what I have to say that. Yes, there was a runner at 3rd, and we got out of it. That was amazing. The Nationals team found their way out of it after climbing out. That was a tough play. And we made the play. And then that set up a day for Awesome Andrew where he can go 4 2/3, 2 hits, no runs, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Awesome Andrew, probably his best outing he's had in a while. I think that tied his season high for innings worked, and 6 strikeouts, which he hasn't done in a while either. He was putting hitters away. They cannot touch him. Riley Cornelio struggles in that 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th inning, we go to Cornelio. He works an inning, 3 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. He struggles. He gives up 2 runs. There's no bouncing around it. Rafaela gets a hit. Abreu strikes out. Contreras with a hit. Gonzalez with a hit. Durbin, RBI walk, and a fielder's choice for Nate Eaton. So there's no dancing around that. Riley Cornelio has not been great at the big league level. But the thing is, people have been talking about is that Cornelio was a starter in AAA Rochester. He was starting games, working out of the pen very rarely. And here he is working out of the bullpen, which he doesn't do much at the big league level. I don't think people realize this. This is the big leagues we're talking about. This is the MLB, the highest level of baseball you can play. He's struggling a little bit. I know we talk about him a lot. We don't like his performance, but give him some time. Let him adjust. Carson Palmquist in the 9th gives up 2 hits, but he keeps it scoreless. So that's the pitching side of it. James Wood with a home run. He has another home run. More importantly, Chaparro gets a first-inning tank from the right side. I love that. We were facing Peyton Tolle, who's been good over his last few starts. He ends up going 3 innings plus with 7 hits, 6 earned runs. Good job by the Nats offense to get to him. More importantly, in that 3rd inning, the biggest thing, or in the 4th inning, the biggest part of that big 4th inning when the Nationals put 5 runs on the board, one of the runs came from a Nasim Nunez home run. Nas showing off some sneaky power coming up on this midseason point. He gets one out of the green monster, so he hit it high. He didn't hit it very far, but the important thing is he hit it high and out of Fenway Park, which was really great. So that was amazing. Nasim Nunez giving us some pop on a Wednesday afternoon. Not too many people coming to Fenway Park and they see a Nasim Nunez home run. That is rare. You got to say that is very rare when he is able to show off some pop and hit a home run. Good job for Nasim Nunez. That was really good. He hits a tank out of here. Later in the game, you get 3 runs because of a James Wood 3-run tank. So 3 home runs in the game. We put up a lot of runs. Every inning had a home run where we scored. We had a tank in that inning. So the Nationals' pop was shown off in that game on Wednesday. We had a lot of afternoon pop, and I like that because a lot of baseball games are played in the afternoon. Majority are played at night, but you get Wednesday afternoons, you get weekend games. They're good at the afternoon games, so they come out with power. And Nasim Nunez showed he had power on the road. That was great. Getting pop from a guy who usually doesn't give that type of power, that was amazing. So that is our little recap on Boston. You could see I have a few topics here I wanted to talk about because we have this time to sit down. And the first thing I want to talk about is C.J. Abrams through the Phase 2 voting won. He beat Mookie Betts. That means C.J. Abrams, for now, if nothing will change, I don't think anything can change. I don't think they can overturn this. Based on the votes, C.J. Abrams, first off, is an all-star. Second of all, he's a starter. C.J. Abrams is the all-star starter. That is amazing. I love that C.J. is getting the start. He deserved it. I was showing this screen so much of the Vote Abrams screen. I've already taken it off, but I would put it up. But C.J. Abrams has been great. I mean, I've been talking about the ranks, but let's look at him compared to other seasons. I want to look at that because he's an all-star starter, and he's starting to find it a little bit less. I mean, he's starting to have a little cold streak here, hitting sub 200 over his last few, but he's been better, even with this going on. A clip over his last 7 at 125 only lowered his batting average to 273. That's a 273 batting average on the season. That's awesome. And I just think it's great. He's still hitting home runs. He has 18 home runs this year. Let's look at it compared to last season, just last year. Last year, over 144 games, had a 257 average, 19 home runs, 60 runs batted in. This year, through 84 games, he has a 273 average, 18 home runs, and 60 runs batted in. He already tied his RBI total, and he is 1 home run away from his home run total. And we are still a week out from the All-Star break. Over a week out. We still have these weekend games, this coming week series, and then the Yankees on the weekend. 3 home series, so 9 games. Abrams could possibly overtake his RBI number, which he definitely will, and his home run number before the first half is up from last year. I know people are going to say it's a little bit of a fluke. Okay, let's look at 2024. 20 home runs, 65 runs batted in. He could overtake that this season. He could do that. Any year before, 18 home runs, 64 runs batted in. That's 2023. He's done all that in the first half. He's playing like that here in the first half. Did anyone expect that? No. And one thing here, 315 on base percentage last year, 355 this year. 433 slugging last year, 511 now. 748 OPS, 866 right now. Sure, there's the tiniest chance some Nats players have been known to go cold after the All-Star break. Even then, all-star voting is based off the first half, and C.J. Abrams is an all-star starter. Honestly, the NL is stacked. We'll say that. NL is stacked full of hitters. Why not would Dave Roberts, Dodgers manager and manager of the all-star team, hit him cleanup? He's been doing well. He's a good cleanup hitter. Give him a role for RBIs in the all-star game. Sure, it's a popularity contest, but C.J. Abrams is the best shortstop in the NL right now. And he's close to Bobby Witt's numbers. Bobby Witt may be better in the field, but still. This season, 16 doubles, 2 triples, 18 home runs, and 60 runs batted in is an amazing clip. And at the same time, that's his numbers from last year for the full season. Those aren't stat numbers, like 255, which can stay steady. So 255 this year, 255 last year, sure. That's not a number. A number where you can add on throughout the season is the same as it was last year through an entire season. And it wasn't like he played limited games. 144 games. This year, 84. And he's put those numbers to shame. That is amazing. He's doing really, really well. And good job to C.J. Abrams. Congratulations. C.J. Abrams, you deserved it. I was campaigning so much. I really wanted everybody to vote C.J. He definitely deserved it. And here he is. He's going to get it. All-star starter. And now, James Wood should be an all-star. Sure, James Wood isn't going to be a starter. He will be an alternate. James Wood will be a reserve. I don't doubt that at all. He will get a spot. And one last thing here. This guy next to me deserves a chance. This dude, Foster Griffin, is on most people's top 25 list. Maybe it's not the top 25. But Foster Griffin is underrated. 8-2 with a 2.93 ERA over 17 games, 98.1 innings worked, 98 strikeouts. At the first half, he's going to have probably over 100 innings worked with a sub-3 ERA as a starter for a team that is known to have not good starters. And Foster Griffin's doing that. Foster Griffin has been awesome this year. Let's look at stats before. His first time in the big leagues, he had 2 clips. 2020, he was with Kansas City, where he had 1 game and 1 2/3 innings as your ERA. In 2022, with Kansas City and Toronto, an 8.53 ERA. He goes over to Japan and comes back a changed pitcher. He pitches to ground balls now. He added the splitter since coming back from Japan. He is a different pitcher. He's a ground ball pitcher. Maybe he's not the best strikeout guy, about a strikeout an inning, but still, he can have fun outings. Let's look at his last outing. I mean, we saw this live. Yabba Dabba Doo Fred came to play. 7 innings worked. 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. 112 pitches, 75 strikes. They're starting to let him go to 100 pitches, and this is extending his outings. 6 innings on June 10th, 6 innings on June 16th, 7 1/3 on June 22nd, and 7 on June 27th. They're starting to let him stretch a little bit. He's showing that he's a versatile distance pitcher. He's going to work into games. Before, they were holding him back to about 90 pitches. I mean, in the one game he threw 103 pitches, he still went 7 innings in May. And another game where he was limited, 97 pitches, he went 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs. It was not a good outing against New York. But later in the season, 90 pitches, 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs with 6 strikeouts. Let him work deeper into games. He's going to be a good pitcher. He's shown that. This season, he showed that. He was one of the best pitchers in the league in the month of June with a 1.15 ERA. In the month of June, this man gave up 4 earned runs over a span of 31 1/3 innings. He was on a tear in the month of June, was a finalist for the June Pitcher of the Month award from MLB Network, which I think was pretty cool. I think that's a fun award to have. He wasn't able to win it. Mizorowski has been overpowering. But Foster Griffin, he's different from all those pitchers. He doesn't overpower. Instead, he comes in and he throws strikes. He throws in the zone. If you hit it, you're going to hit a ground ball. He gets that type of contact. So those are your pitcher matchups. Keller-Griffin, game 1. That's today, which is the day I'm filming it, but that's game 1. Ashcraft-Littell, game 2. Bubba Chandler versus Brad Lord. Miles Michaelis is suspended. He's supposed to get the start. I'm assuming Brad Lord will get the start. So I'm hoping that Foster Griffin can have a Griffin type of outing, but maybe Brad Lord will have another outing out of the pen as well as Michaelis is here. And then Cavalli's start is Monday. So we'll have to see where the Nationals go from there. Let's see. My prediction, Nationals win the series 2-1 over a good team in the Pirates. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope the Nationals can take the series this weekend. Game 1 is 6:45 p.m. We will not be on the mic. I'm going to a sports bar to watch that game 2, 11:05 a.m. Tune in for that. We will be on the mic. And 1 o'clock for Game 3. So those are the 2 of 3 games we're covering. Please tune in. Thank you so much for tuning into District Nation today. For the series preview, at least, I greatly appreciate it for you for tuning in today. I hope to see you soon on a live stream or in another series preview. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I will see you soon right here on District Nation for more YouTube's home of DC sports content. I will see you later.